I want to talk about a certain pirate. We all know the former owner of this here straw hat was given to me by this man named Shanks. And I want to talk about his background. Where'd he come from? Where'd he go? Where is he going? Where has he been? Where is he now? These are all questions that are running through everybody's mind right now. But what I want to talk about today is the origins of red-haired Shanks. Now, with the latest chapter that has came out, chapter 1135 and 1134, we have discovered that the man that actually met up with the Gorosei long ago was not Shanks, but it was Shanks' brother. And we also seen that when Shanks' brother showed up on Elbaf, he was also acquainted with a woman in bandages. And some people are suspecting that this woman is, or could be, Shanks' sister, maybe mother. I don't think so. I think this woman is probably just somebody. I mean, they could be related, but I think she's just another Holy Knight, right? I think she's someone totally separate. It would just be too weird if it's like Shanks has a father, Figurlin Garling, in the Holy Knights, and he has a brother in the Holy Knights, and he has a sister. But I mean, at the same time, it would make sense that there's just a whole gang of these Figurlin family and they're just all OP, right? It would make sense, and I could see it happening that way. I just don't think that I like that suggestion as much, because I don't think that I don't want, just a big old Shanks, like Shanks' family is evil. I think it's cool. I think we already got two family members that, are certainly evil. I just don't want a whole, a brother, a sister, a cousin, a mom, a dad, an uncle, right? We don't need all that. I just want Shanks' brother and his dad, right? Would I be mad if the girl was his sister? Absolutely not. But here's what I want to talk about. So we all know Shanks, good old red hair Shanks, the man who saved Luffy, the man who sacrificed his arm, the man who gave Luffy the straw hat, right? So we know his origin story is that he said he was born in the East Blue on an island that made sake or whiskey or whatever it is, right? The island made alcohol, okay? That's all we know. And we also know that when he went to go meet with Whitebeard all those years ago, Whitebeard says, "Every time I see your face, my scars hurt," okay? And a lot of people are thinking, oh, now, that might actually be Shanks' brother that gave him the scar. I still think it's Figurlin Garling, because I think it was a long time ago that Whitebeard got those scars, because I feel like, if it was any time after God Valley, we would have definitely, Shanks was too young, so, his brother would be way too young to fight Whitebeard, so I'm definitely thinking this scar is from way back in the day, because it's a memory that Whitebeard has, my scars still hurt. So I'm pretty sure it's Figurlin Garling that gave him those scars, not his brother, because I think his brother was too young at the time. And we're going to go into further theories about this, but this is just an exploration video, right? I'm going to explain his backstory. I'm going to explain where I think he came from. This isn't a factual explanation. This is more of an exploration, but I'm explaining it. So he says he was from the East Blue, right? From an island that makes sake for a living, right? That they're famous for making sake. We now know that that is not true, because in Film Red it was stated that he is part of a Figurlin family, and that is the first time we see Figurlin Garling. Okay, maybe we don't see Figurlin Garling in the movie. I just remember the Figurlin family was brought up, and we were introduced to Figurlin Garling in the manga shortly after Film Red came out, and he has, a moon face, star hat, hair, a moon hair with a star resemblance, right? And it was shown that Shanks was found at God Valley in a treasure box, and he had pajamas on, and it resembled the moon and stars, right? So pretty much kind of just piecing things together, Shanks was found at the War of God Valley in a treasure box by Roger. Okay, and a lot of people are wondering, well, how do you get in the treasure box? Do babies are babies just in treasure boxes on God Valley? And any One Piece YouTuber that I've seen so far, they really haven't, like, came out with a good theory about this, or, kind of pieced anything together really well. It's always like, how'd the baby end up in the box? How are babies just in boxes? Like, listen, let's think of this logically, and let's break this down, right? So, God Valley, we know there was a war on God Valley, right? And God Valley seemingly disappeared off the map. So this war had to be so grand that the island was probably, left in ruins, right? So you got to think, if God Valley is where all the celestial dragons lived, right? Because they consider themselves gods to people. So if you consider God Valley like the home of celestial dragons, holy knights, the Gorosei, whatever you want to call it, I'm thinking what a good possibility probably is that, the island was being destroyed, the castle was going to get destroyed, there was probably pirates raiding everywhere, it probably just wasn't, the main crews like Roger, Garp, Rox's crew, and the Holy Knights. Like, there was probably a bunch of different pirates, like, their underlings running around causing havoc, and we know that there is a man with a burn scar, and now a lot of people are theorizing that it's Shanks's brother or Shanks's clone, right? So I'm thinking that maybe the castle was under attack, it was starting to crumble, it was, on fire, right? And the mom, so this is my idea, the mom that was married to Figurlin Garling, right? Shanks's mom. Maybe she had some kind of epiphany, kind of like Sanji's mom, where she did not like Figurlin Garling. She did not stand for what they stood for, because they're literally killing children on God Valley for sport. Like, you know how evil and messed up that is? That you're literally killing innocent people, children, slaves, on God Valley, and you're killing them for sport like the Hunger Games. You're not letting them kill each other, though. You're literally hunting them down, killing them. Whoever killed the most becomes the champion, which Figurlin Garling was. So, he was a child murderer. I don't think Shanks' mom stood for that. I think that there was probably a scenario where the castle was under attack, there was a fire, right? And she can only save one baby. Right? Well, she can only, hold one baby and get out of there alive. And she probably took Shanks' brother, or she probably took Shanks, knew that she couldn't save both the children, so she put Shanks in a treasure box, maybe threw him out the castle window, he landed in a river, floated down a river, and maybe a pirate found him, took him to Goldie Roger's ship, they open it, they're like, oh shit, a baby's in here. Where did you guys get this treasure chest? Oh, we found it by the river. Okay, so maybe she saved Shanks' brother, who maybe, was in a fire, or maybe their bassinet caught on fire. She grabbed one of the babies, took the other one, didn't know she couldn't hold both of them, right? So she puts one of them in a treasure chest, throws it out the window, throws it into a river, whatever, saves Shanks' brother. Now, Shanks' brother has the burn scar from that war, right? Because he might have, something might have caught on fire, his bassinet, maybe part of his clothing or something, and it left him with a burn mark, right? Because this was a war. They were on war grounds. They were in a battlefield. And they tried to escape. She couldn't take both the kids, so she had to sacrifice one, right? Or she knew that she didn't want Shanks to grow up into this lifestyle, right? But she can only save one. She can only take one and give one away, and hopefully that baby doesn't grow up to be a maniacal, evil Gorosei celestial dragon kind of figure like her husband, right? So she knew that the only way to save one of these children is to put him in a box, send him down the river, and hope for the best, right? Hopefully one of these pirates find him. Hopefully one of the Marines find him, And she maybe that was her way of getting Shanks out of that cycle of evilness, right? Because now we know Shanks' brother is evil. Like, he's obviously evil. He's a holy knight. So he'll kill any human for any reason. They're already hurting giants the moment they got there. They probably killed the king on Elbaf, right? So I'm thinking either that kid, he got a burn scar as a kid when they were, this whole war was going on, and his mom saved Shanks by putting him in a treasure box and tried to throw him out into the river to try to save him, and miraculously they survived somehow. And she was trying to save one kid while maybe sacrificing the other or something. But either way, I think that's how Shanks ended up in that treasure chest. He was either being freed by his mom to try to break the cycle, or she was trying to save him from a burning castle, that actually harmed his brother, right? Or this is, a crazy theory right here, is that Shanks is actually cloned, and you can see that maybe the castle was on fire somehow, right? And they were like, oh my God, like my child's gonna die. Like I need to save my child. Puts him in the treasure box, sends him down the river, and maybe the mom dies, and Figurlin Garling, is like, man, that was my son. He was my only son. We have his DNA. We can recreate him, and Vegapunk clones him, right? That could be a possibility. I don't really think that actually happened. I don't think Shanks is cloned. I think this is a full other person. It's a twin, right? And it could be the man marked by flames. I'm honestly thinking that it is, because we only keep seeing half of his face. I think once we get the full face reveal and we do see the half of his face is, a burn scar, then obviously he's the man marked by flames. And Oda keeps, hinting that that guy is going to start making moves and Luffy will meet that guy. So I think Luffy's going to meet this guy. He might think it's Shanks for half a second because the scar and whatnot, and I think he's going to be fooled, but then I think he's going to do something crazy, or he might attack Luffy, and he's going to be like, wait, I don't think this is Shanks, right? So I believe that's Shanks' origins. I believe that, he was in the middle of, he was caught in a war as a child, and his parents had to make a sacrifice, or rather his mom, whether that's, her trying to free him from the evilness that, the celestial dragons are being, or she just tried to save him from the collapse of the castle. Maybe she was evil too, but she wanted to save her son. Maybe it's something like that. We still don't know about Shanks' mother. We only know about Figurlin Garling. Maybe, and might be a reason why we don't know about his mother, is maybe because Figurlin Garling killed her. Because she, wanted to get Shanks out of there, because she knew if he grew up in this family that he was going to turn up evil. And she didn't want that for her son, just like Sanji's mom, right? We see that parallel there with Sanji's mom. So I could kind of see that happening. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the bottom down below. I know this is going to be a little bit of a controversial topic, but it's worth talking about, right? Because anyone that has talked about it, everyone's just like, oh, how did he end up in the treasure box? I think there's logical ways he ends up in the treasure box. I just don't think anyone has thought about it or explored it to any detail yet. So anyway, that's the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.